How's it going, guys? CryptoBud here for today. Hopefully you guys all had a great Christmas and spent time with the family. I know I was really busy with family and with everybody trying to get a piece of me and the attention in three different directions and not getting into crypto, but it's okay. I think enjoying this holiday is a great opportunity to really kind of step back away from crypto and have a little bit of sanity in your mind, especially since this market doesn't stop, literally. Anyway, so first off, welcome, guys. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, but I'm ready to get going off to the new year. Today's December the 26th, so we only have about 5 more days here till the end of the trading year. And keep in mind that unfortunately the tax man is coming in about 5 days. So in this video, I'm going to talk about my my picks for 2018 that I think are going to do very well. I'm also going to talk a little bit about some of the tax situations going on right now. And also I'll be discussing a little bit about some things I've seen in the Bitcoin market. So if you are barely tuning in, this is basically going to be one of my key videos because you want to hear this, especially about what do I have in store for the future. Also, as a Christmas bonus for everybody, I have decided to create a new Discord channel for anybody who wants to come in. Just share. If you're a CryptoBud fan, you want to share with the community. I'm trying to build a network of people where we can go ahead and share ideas and share some research. I'm a one-man show. I don't have all the answers. I'm a one-man show. I don't have the answers, and I'm sure all of you guys are probably bringing a lot of different skill sets for that. So what I'm trying to do here with the Discord channel is to start an informal networking type of chat where, yeah, we can share picks, we can share ideas, and it's completely free for anybody who wants to join in and just to connect with people on a more regular basis. And you'll definitely have access to me. I'll definitely drop in there to kind of discuss a couple of things I'm looking at and whatnot. So for those of you guys who said, hey, CryptoBud, do a Discord channel, someone had offered to do that for me the last couple of days, and I went ahead and said okay. And so if you're interested, I'm going to post a link below, and what you'll see is a Discord channel invite along with a code that's going to allow you to jump into the actual channel, and then you can start beginning to network. And like I said before, we'll try it out. I'm looking for volunteers, anybody who wants to help out with research or with just looking at coins, things like that. So I think it would be a great idea to do that. All right, so let's get started first. The market has been phenomenally very, let's just say it's been pretty good today. I mean, Bitcoin's already up about, what, 14-15%. After the holiday, it looks like people came back and pressed on that buy button, and it looks like Bitcoin's running off. So we're off to a good start here. Now, looking ahead into 18, what I want to talk about here is going to be specifically the coins that I think are going to outperform Bitcoin. So there's two choices every single time. One, you can buy Bitcoin and hold on to it, for a year or two or several years. Or two, you can go into the altcoin market. Either case, you have to figure out what's your strategy. So you can't just say, well, I'm going to go ahead and buy Bitcoin, and tomorrow I'm going to go buy altcoins, and then I'm going to switch back and forth. I mean, although you can, it's a little bit more nerve-wracking, and in some cases, a lot more work. So in the macro side, in the larger picture, when I look at coins, what I always look for is what coins can outperform Bitcoin. What are some themes that are going to take advantage of it? So this year in 17, the theme this year was going to be platform. I mean, by hands down, platform beat every single type of coin out there. The second theme that came out this year was privacy coins. So those were the two main ones. Now, if you take a look at Ethereum, you look at Neo, you look at some of the other coins relative to USD price, not BTC price, they were outperforming BTC. Now, on the other side, BTC actually outperformed some of these on the latter half of the year. So we were doing really good, and all of a sudden BTC kind of smoked them all. So currency coins, specifically like Litecoin, Bitcoin, Dash, those type of coins usually, for the most part, are what I call the incumbents. These are the ones that have outperformed the overall market. And this year specifically was the year of Ethereum. And what we saw was the tail end of that. Going into next year, what I'm going to predict is that we're probably going to get a continuation of the platforms, probably your second or third tier coins, specifically something like ARK, all of those. However, I do feel that the higher quality platforms are going to do better than some of the riskier ones. Also, I think that the currencies themselves, with the exception of Bitcoin and some of the top tier names, may actually underperform. And the reason why I say that is because I think we're shifting kind of towards a utility and more of a privacy road than just a general decentralized currency. So let's take a look at the first example. The first one I think that's going to outperform is going to be Dash. You guys know I've talked about Dash relentlessly on this channel, and I have gotten all sorts of comments relating to Dash about how Dash is considered to be let's just say a shady coin, all these other things. But I think that Dash has a very good shot of doing very well this year. As you already know, just looking at the graph itself for Dash, let me pull this up right now. Now remember, I'm looking at the BTC price here, so I don't care too much about the USD price, just because if I have a choice between choosing Bitcoin and altcoins, I'm going to have to make that decision before I plow money into Dash. If I think that Bitcoin's going to outperform, then what I need to do is put money into Bitcoin. Forget about all these altcoins. However, if I think that Bitcoin's going to underperform, then obviously I need to put money into Dash. So I think Dash right now is facing a nice consolidation after that last run up that we had. Dash is definitely in this kind of like no man's land territory, although it had a although it ran up a lot on the USD chart. Dash has technically not done much relative to BTC, which leads me to believe that either Dash is going to break out next year or it's going to go down the other direction. I just think that the forces right now for Dash look very positive with the release of the Evolution wallet coming out in January, with the partnerships with the marijuana dispensary business that they have going, with the implementation of the privacy features that I think it's going to be thematic. I think Dash has more catalyst going forward than actually risk on the downside. Now, with all of that said, obviously, if it can't break this level anytime soon, it's just going to sidewind maybe for another year. So keep that in mind, but I do feel that Dash is a serious contender for one of the coins that's going to outperform. Now, granted, also, Dash is only a $9 billion market cap. Now, when I say only, it's because if you take a look at the overall market relative to where it's at, I mean, you've got stuff like Cardano, Litecoin, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash outperforming Dash. And so I think that Dash has a very, very good shot at least going into some of these $50 billion levels. So keep an eye for Dash. Right now it's trading at $1,200. So I think conservatively, if you were to double this to about 18 to Litecoin's range, possibly 3,000, 2,500. That looks like about right. Obviously, I think it can go a lot more. I think personally, I think that Dash should be at the same level as Litecoin. So that's a little under double. So keep that in mind. All right. So that's my number one pick. And also I think that Dash is going to be one of the coins that will be listed on Coinbase. So if anything, that's going to be, another catalyst going forward. Okay. The other, a coin I want to talk about is going to be Monero. Now, Monero I've already talked about extensively in this channel, so if you haven't watched those videos, just go ahead and click on my Monero video. But basically, it's a full privacy coin. What I like about Monero is that it has a low supply count, just like Dash. In fact, if you take a look at Monero's circling supply, it's actually less than Bitcoin, which leads me to believe that people are going to gravitate towards coins that are going to be low supply and also are currency based and have some sort of privacy feature in it. Monero, as you all know, is completely decentralized. Nobody owns it. It's a very, very full-on privacy coin, unlike Dash, which, you know, it's kind of like has the privacy option feature in there. But what makes Dash different from Monero is that Monero is not technically used for microtransactions. It's mainly used for privacy purposes. Dash, however, it's leaning towards more of the microtransactions and using the instant send feature. Although they definitely are the same space, I do think that Monero definitely has a very important role in the privacy coin. So that's why I think Monero's in it. With sitting at a $6 billion market cap, it's obviously underneath Dash. So I think going along the same logic, I think that Monero can definitely move up to perhaps maybe Litecoin's price cap. So I'm usually looking at Litecoin's price as a barometer, and definitely Bitcoin Cash. So these two, although I think Bitcoin Cash's valuation may be a little bit high here, just because it carries the Bitcoin name, but these other coins offer much better value, I think, than some of the other ones. Okay, moving along to our next one, it's going to be Stellar, XLM. Now, Stellar is really interesting because what happens with Stellar is that this one's riding off the coattails of Ripple. So their second theme next year going forward is going to be a platform. And so Stellar is going to be, I think, a platform-based coin, which is going to have several partnerships with other companies. And this year we saw that a little bit with IBM. And I think when you're looking at companies that have platforms specifically and can do remittances in a very niche type of countries like South Africa, for example, continents, you're going to find that they're going to be doing well. Now, Stellar's technicals right here look really good. It's kind of moving off of this really nice kind of like cup and handle bowl formation, you want to call it. And usually what happens in these type of patterns is that usually breaks out. And I expect also Coinbase to list Stellar as one of them. Again, very, very good usage cases for the tech, and a lot of news coming out specifically with partnerships with other corporations. So good. Yes, and my next pick is going to be Ripple. So let's talk a little bit about Ripple real quick. Ripple did phenomenal these last couple of weeks, as you guys may already know. I mean, it tripled, quadrupled, whatever you want to call it. And one of the things I like about Ripple is, although it is a little bit lofty at $48 billion market cap right now, I do think that Ripple, it's actually fairly cheap for what it's providing. So I think that Ripple has a much, much larger capacity. Now, I've done a lot of videos on Ripple. In fact, I've talked about Ripple since summer. And now that Ripple finally got the opportunity to do what it's supposed to do, you can see that Ripple was actually about 20 cents not too long ago, around December the 9th. Earlier in the month, Ripple was only 25 cents. Right now, it's sitting at $1.26. That's roughly almost a 6-7 fold return. So looking at Ripple, in just 1 month alone, Ripple went up 6 times, and I don't think that's a coincidence. I mean, it did that last time too, back in May when I was covering it, and it definitely went up from 3 cents all the way up to, I believe it was like 28 cents. So around 6 or 7 time return. Same ideas here. Now, one of the differences between back then when I was covering Ripple and now was that back then, Ripple was kind of still underneath the radar, and this last pump that they had was basically all the banks kind of signing on. Now what you're seeing is Ripple actually making major partnerships with like American Express and with even more banks than ever before. So that roster has actually increased. Now the question is Ripple right now overvalued at these levels? One could argue yes, because usually what happens is that these prices are not sustainable and eventually they come crashing down and so on. But what I'm looking here is Ripple has consistently stayed in that top 10 range for a very long time, despite even the price drops and whatnot. So to me, Ripple is definitely a long-term hold. And I think that although somebody may have bought it at the top back in summer right here when it was about 27 cents or 47 cents, I think it eventually hit 40 cents or something. Someone could be buying Ripple here at $1.26 at the very top too. So there is definitely a lot of risk with this coin right now, but long term, looking for a year, 2 years, 3 years out, I think this is a $5 or $10 coin. I mean, this is easily going to be one of those coins that you're going to look back and you're going to be like, oh, I should have bought it at $1. Now, the reason why I say that's because Ripple has not only accelerated their partnerships with a lot of banks, but now they're moving into the credit card business with American Express. And I think that the service that they're providing, they already have first mover advantage. And that's the reason why Stellar kind of takes a back seat to Ripple. But I think that this is one of the high quality coins that everybody should have in their portfolio. I mean, I'm definitely going to be stacking this once the price kind of comes down a little bit, because I think it's too hard to ignore the fact that Ripple has way too much corporate interest and also financial backing by these large companies that I think are in there. So watch out for Ripple. The other one I want to say is going to be EOS. Okay, so EOS is really interesting because it's been a very polarizing trend. Same idea with some of the other coins. And one of the reasons why is because of the whole ICO process. I think EOS has a really great model with the platform industry. The only problem with it was the dilution factor that you had all this year, but that's going to change coming January. What's going to happen is you're no longer going to have those coins being flooded into the market. So what's happening right now is a lot of people picked up on that already. And so what you saw in the last couple of days was people basically buying it up. And I think what's going to happen is that that's going to continue going into next year because EOS was one of the best ICOs, I think, in 2017. And so looking at what it proposes, I think it's going to be a very, very good contender for some of the entire Ethereum ecosystem. So watch out for EOS. I think it's definitely one of the coins that I would definitely be looking at very closely come January as the ICO expires and there's no more EOS being flooded into the market. Now, obviously, it's going to go head on with Ethereum, and it's going to have everything is basically going to go head on with Ethereum. But I think that there is enough space here for that. So EOS is trading. It's only a 565 million shares, million tokens, and it's got a $5 billion market cap. I mean, if you think that EOS right here is overvalued, then I'm going to go ahead and buy it because $5 billion for what EOS is providing, I think it's very, very cheap for that. And then the last one is going to be Stratis. So Stratis has a really interesting idea. It had this last pump back in summer, and we didn't really see anything else like it afterwards. I mean, we had these little small ones, but then what you saw right here was just like massive, just kind of like I gave up on Stratis. And what I'm seeing on this one is a very different picture because Stratis has a really great marketing, and not only that, but they've released a Breeze wallet. They've already working with developers to create the development academy for businesses to start up. And I think in fintech, you're going to find that a lot of companies are going to want to start building onto the blockchain next couple of years. And I think Stratis is probably the best one that is in the best position right now to cater to that need. Yes, we can talk about platforms all day long, but the problem is, again, that learning curve. Most companies don't have the time or the resources to be able to implement a solution towards using blockchain quickly. In fact, if you go into Ethereum, you may not have the development team to do it. So I think there's going to be a crunch in the next couple of years for solid programming skills. And I think Stratis makes it really interesting with their academy. All right, guys. So that's about it. These are my top coins for 18. Notice carefully, I didn't put some of my favorites in there. And although I do like those, I'm not married to any coins. So a lot of people ask me, how come you didn't put this? How come you put that? I am a fanboy for a lot of coins. But at the end of the day, I have to look at the overall picture. And sure, I'm going to have those coins in there, but I'm not going to, I need to realize what exactly is happening to the landscape. Anyway, last plug here. I will be at the NAC3 conference in February in New York. If you guys are interested, use my code down there below. You'll get a $15 discount. And I'm also offering my master class for anybody who's interested on the website. So I'll put the link below, double check on it. It's going to be one of my first live classes that I'll be doing about how to research coins, how to look at technical analysis, basically everything underneath the sun. I feel like it's going to be one of my best workshops ever because, again, you guys get full access to me and you guys can see all the behind the scenes research that I do. All right, guys, have a great day. CryptoBot out.